Hello and welcome to Farscape.
A fun-filled Farscape fancast by a fervent fan.
And a frankly fascinated first-timer.
I'm Cocky.
I'm Kay.
And this is the story So Farscape. Dude, here we are, heading toward careening toward the end of season 4. Yes, very good. Do you remember where that's from?
Oh, I mean, it's quite a common phrase.
It is, certainly in Farscape. Actually, it was a little callback to, do you remember when Crichton and Braca were having a fight on that sort of weapons station in orbit around the Princess planet?
Oh, was that with the impromptu EVA?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one, and pretending that his genitals were in his hand and like killed by sex life.
Yes.
And just dancing around yelling,
"We're so screwed, man!"
No, I don't remember that particular scene, but yes.
Well.
So, yes, episode 419, Fetal Attraction.
Apparently the writers did. Speaking of the writers, Ricky Manning had proposed an alternative title to Fetal Attraction, and that was Fetus Don't Fail Me Now.
Okay. That's, yeah. No, I think Fetal Attraction is the better choice, definitely there.
I think so too.
Yes.
Deb Pert, the editor, she had an alternative suggestion as well, which was Poison Harvey, as in Poison Ivy, because Harvey's back.
Harvey's back, he is. Oh, God. But why does Scorpius, not Scorpius, what's his face? Actor.
Wayne Pygram.
Wayne Pygram,
that took
yes.
me a while.
Why does Wayne Pygram get all the fun scenes?
I'm sure a lot of actors on Farscape thought that as well.
Yeah, it's like he gets all the ridiculously over the top, which is...
Right, the Mumbo shirt and the roller coaster, and now rising from the coffin like Nosferatu.
Yep. Anyway, that's right at the end, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right, let's dive into the episode.
Well, let's first see what our listeners have to say about this.
Undo that. That's not going to start.
So, Rick from the Delta Quadrant says, "You wanted a plague, I gave you one. The Scarran cube will cure you, son. Gangly fingers, suspicious lingerers. Hang on a minute, we're not done."
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I know we have one from Marky See, but my little device just failed me, so maybe you can read that one.
Rygel's heroic stomach provides the crew a chance to save a damsel in distress, but thanks to Granny, the situation soon turns deadly. John is hoping to find a sebacean woman to take back to his bunk and frell and returning house guests.
Yikes.
Oh, sorry, and frell and returning house guests gives John some unwanted news. Sorry, that needed a comma there. Thank you, Marky See.
Oh, my granddad was in a comma.
Oh, great. Yes, synonym rolls, just like grammar used to make.
I'm sorry I got so overexcited. Even this morning I was thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to be really good and I'm going to recalculate like all of the points, that we haven't done in a while. And and then I didn't do that because I just got really excited with the prep for this episode. And then I thought, okay, well, today we're going to do the human interest segment again and really get to know each other. And no, I just really want to do this episode. I'm just super excited.
Yeah, I had a few interesting things coming up there where I was thinking of my points during this episode.
Oh, awesome.
So, yes, dive right into the episode. We already did the thing, so we don't have to press the button. There's another extensive recap.
I like pressing the button.
All right, well, there's more buttons for you to press later on. There's two more.
Yay.
There's two left.
Thank you, Daddy.
Extensive recap of Aeryn being captured on board the freighter and getting to the point where they are now approaching a Scarran border post, I suppose.
Yes, that's how it's described.
It's a gorgeous ship. It looks a bit like...
It's amazing.
Like they borrowed a little bit from the starbase design from Star Trek, the long...
Oh, yeah, the long cylinder hanging
dish
down.
type thing on the top, and then like the mushroom design. But this has like all sorts of really cool counter-rotating ridges and ledges, which I guess actually are used to create docking ports of various sizes.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Because it seems like it actually opens up to make a docking port for Moya as she approaches. So I think that's what they're meant to do.
Yeah, because it is described as like a docking collar to ensure that whatever craft are there are locked in. Because as we learned, there's a 5 solar day quarantine procedure that every ship passing into Scarran space, or on its way to Catrazzi specifically, has to undergo.
It's not a particularly good quarantine procedure.
No, it is not.
Because everybody who is quarantined at the station is allowed to freely mingle. That's not how quarantines work.
Yeah, it's not awesome. It really isn't.
Any vessel lacking the proper security clearance beacon will be destroyed on sight. That's very reassuring.
there is a lot sort of medically that's not awesome about this episode, or not particularly accurate, or wouldn't be really great. But hey, we're in the middle of a complicated plan. Once again, we find out.
Well, not really much of a plan, really. I mean, they've sent Sikozu ahead.
Yes, exactly.
That we know. What did Sikozu go with? She went in some sort of module?
The Scarran border station has given us permission to dock. Moya senses 3 other vessels present. One has our own transport pod.
Well, that means Sikozu made it okay.
Yeah, she took a transport pod.
Oh,
and
okay.
to
Yes.
blend in with the other Kaelish bureaucrats of her species.
Yes, but there is another ship as well. Moya is there. There's a transport pod and
Lola was in stealth mode,
hovering about,
hanging back as backup. So there was clearly some sort of plan for them to do. But then things change and they adapt their plans. Mm-hmm. And I think it's worth noting, like, this is probably Scorpius's plan.
Sounds like it, yes.
I love waiting to see how things go south.
Right, and in true Scorpius tradition, he hasn't told him everything. Like that he is now cosplaying Captain Wendell or something of Moya.
Wentrask.
Yeah.
Close enough.
And even Pilot calls him that over the comms.
We must assume that all comms transmissions are being intercepted.
And she kind of goes, but
But our comms are secure.
right? And John side-eyes Scorpius.
Yes.
Let's pretend that
They're
they are.
not, yes.
So their current plan is to infiltrate in disguise.
They don't really have a plan yet, other than that they've got sent...
Do you think they don't have a plan, or just that it hasn't been explained to us?
I think...
John is already playing a peacekeeper, which he's not
Right,
super
so
happy about.
No, they've either have a plan, or they're just going to go like, oh, we're just going to go in and see what we can do, and we're going to set this up. I think Scorpius has a plan, because Scorpius knows that he has security codes. He is posing as a Scarran captain,
Yeah.
but also a secrets guy who is returning with valuable cargo.
Do you appreciate how I didn't just immediately guffaw when you said secrets guy instead of spy, which is the only thing that I'm going to call spies?
Secrets guys?
They're just secrets guys.
Well, isn't that what what Captain Janik calls Scorpius at some point? As soon as they have a little head-to-head, and
that's
Scorpius exposes himself as being a spy. He says something along those lines.
It's a really weird conversation.
Yeah.
Because, they're okay, let's do this really quickly. They meet Treso, who is a male Kalish.
I am Dr. Treso Talnell, Chief Medical Officer.
Yes, another Kaelish functionary.
Yes.
Who's in charge of the medical quarantine.
Yes, but he seems to be running the station. Or at least...
or at least this area.
Yeah.
See, it's a huge station, but I think that maybe there's one quarantine ring where ships on their way to Katratzi dock.
Right, that seems to make sense.
Because the freighter is on the opposite side of the station from Moya at the same sort of
Yes.
area, and there's only one common area, despite the fact that this station is vast and more enormous than the Leviathan.
Yes, you can see
So
how
that's my
small,
feeling, that
how
there's-
relatively small Moya is.
If you have this destination, then you go to that level. If you have right, so
Right.
he's in charge of presumably the Katratzi level.
He is the warden of the quarantine level, basically. Or
Right.
The operator. Because he seems to have large amounts of autonomy
Authority as well. He certainly wields it. And he explains that there's little Scarran DRDs.
Oh,
You
yes.
see them?
The little angry ones. Spicy DRDs, let's go.
Yes. They're called Sentinels, and they've got this sort of scorpion look about them.
Yeah, they got this little hatch thingy that points up, and that's their gun. And it's
Yep.
quite effective, as we see later.
Yes, and they're programmed to shoot on sight anyone who isn't staff and is carrying weapons.
Yeah, which the commander of the station, well, let's just call him that for the time being, explains to John as he wanders off with his gun.
Yeah, which he then...
Gun gets boxed, tells 1812 to take good care of it.
And we spend our first of many visits just sort of loitering
10
around
forward.
the common area.
Yes.
Yeah, Scarran 10 forward is a really great way to describe it. Because it's just this open kind of space. And I was honestly, I was kind of taken aback at the cinematography in this episode. There's lots of like wide shots of characters having a conversation and then the camera panning over to another area.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of the original BSG.
Oh, the 1970s
Right,
Glenn
yes.
Larson Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Like when they were doing like alien, like casino planets and stuff like that, that kind of like felt a little bit like that.
Right. So in this case, I think this is what David Kemper was referring to when he was talking in The Visual Companion. He kind of downplayed or almost apologized, which I thought was a bit weird, but he talked about, like, we were really tired. We only had 6 days to film this episode because the later episodes needed more time. So maybe that's what he's referring to, like where Farscape would normally take a lot of like really close-ups of people's faces so you can drink in the emotions. Now, for the sake of expediency, we got these group shots just because there's a lot of plot to move forward. It's a lot of exposition.
Oh, yes. Starting with Zikozu, who has taken a leaf from Chiana's book, and she is laying the sweets on the station master's assistant.
Yeah. So there's 3 Kalish that we need to be paying attention to. We've got Treso, who's the station master. Yeah. We've got his assistant, who's Cutie Pie, that Zikozu is all about. And then there's another nerd
the one
that Chi cozies up to.
Right, and he's the one who dies from the Hynerian skin flu.
Yes, skin flu. So yeah, she's chatting with Cutie Pie, and she's very impressed with his exciting career.
Oh yes, but oh no, this is so boring on the station, and I want to go out there.
Oh, but it's so stable. I envy you so
swap
much.
jobs with you. Yes. Anyway, that's.
Let me see who's there. I think Chi and Rygel and Scorpius. They're actually forming the sort of peanut gallery who are commenting on her.
Sitting there watching.
Looks like she's found a new friend.
One of her own kind.
Not too bad looking at that.
Zikozu thinks with her head, not her gazitza.
Yeah, that's a problem.
We were smart to send her ahead.
As John does a little bit of a mingling, which doesn't really mingle anywhere, other than that he confirms that Zikozu is in fact there and she is making inroads.
Well, he's loitering so that they can casually bump up to one another.
Yes.
When she goes over to the Replimat or food dispenser, which just has a handprint that you put your hand on and then you get...
I guess it just scans your barcode and it like charges your account or something.
Oh, or maybe just a quick like DNA check to see if you can actually digest what's coming out of the...
Also quite possible,
package A.
Not a bad idea.
See which side your DNA curls.
Yes. Oh, this one's silicon-based. Better give him something else. Yeah.
And so John and Zikozu have an opportunity to casually chat. It's very sotto voce. He's mumbling under his breath. He's being he's being a secrets guy, as you would say. And she informs him casually, oh yes, this is everything. Also, by the way...
Aeryn is here.
Say that again.
Aeryn is here.
But her ship is leaving in 30 micros.
Yes.
Half an hour.
Half an hour, yes. Okay.
Oops. Good news, bad news.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, of course, leads John to, oh, okay, well, we're going to go do something. Don't know what yet, but we definitely are.
So whatever
Boy,
plan...
howdy, are we going to go do something?
Yeah.
Half an hour. What can we do in half an hour?
Grab our guns and we kick in some doors.
Because he confers with the peanut gallery. It's such an interesting combination of John and Scorpius and Chiana and Rygel. Have you noticed how, like, incredibly supportive Chiana is? Like, she is completely committed to saving Aeryn.
Yeah, she's just like, we're going to do this, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, whatever it takes.
We will find her. We'll get Aeryn back. No matter what.
And Rygel as well, because as they're discussing this, okay, we don't have enough time to mount a rescue. We are vastly, like, not necessarily outgunned, but... we can't make it to that freighter with weapons.
I think you're jumping ahead a little bit too far here, but because like first there's one of the first of many scenes between Aeryn and the nurse, and then we go to the credits.
Yes. You're right. There is. This was actually Claudia Black's idea.
Okay.
Her idea that Aeryn wouldn't trust her rescuers because she's in this position of powerlessness.
Yeah.
And Claudia Black didn't want to like leave her character where she was before. Like, character should evolve, and it's a testament to a dedicated actress like Claudia Black to sort of recognize that.
Yeah.
Her defiance is worn down. She's desperate. She's being drugged again.
I mean that is portrayed very well. Like, she's shown like a scene where like John is like, oh, everything's all right, and her pregnancy is much further advanced. And John's like reassuring her that she's going to be doing good, and then she gets yanked back to the med bay with the nurse, and that shows clearly that she's having delusions, presumably brought on by the
drugs.
The drugs
that they're feeding her. And it comes back a few times, really sort of setting up her inability to, participate in her own
when
rescue.
John actually arrives, then yes, she's like, oh, got one of those again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of reminded me of Zan in Dream a Little Dream, where she'd had so many hallucinations of John and Aeryn being alive and coming to rescue her.
You're here to rescue me. I need you here to rescue me.
Yeah.
But by the time that they actually go back to Moya at the start of season 2, she just sort of casually, oh, that's nice, dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, your spirit is with me. The flesh is unimportant.
Yeah, it's kind of important. Whoa! Oh, I'm not dead? She thinks I'm dead. I'm real.
Yes, John. You always will be to me.
No, but I am physically... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, here we go again. Yes, Rygel during this time, as they're having a little powwow about, like, nobody knows what to do, is deciding on his own course of action.
Pass me all that food.
It's a hell of a time to be eating, Rygel.
I have an idea. Get me more.
It's amazing, isn't
and it's
it?
very well disguised, in fact, because it's kind of dismissed by everybody. Just Rygel wanting food again.
Asking for more
but
food.
But no, Rygel actually has a plan this time around.
But what I like the most is that they actually help him. Right? They're sitting here discussing, okay, we can't do anything. We've got to somehow keep this ship here. He asks for more food. Crichton sort of rolls his eyes, but he asks Chiana, like, get me another plate. And she goes and does it.
Yes.
And because his strategy is to... it's called Rygel's Technicolor Vomit.
Yes.
By
it's
the
only green, really.
Cast and crew. Yeah. Fiona Gentle, who's the head of Team Rygel, she was very, very impressed with it. It was pretty tricky.
Yeah, I can
getting
imagine.
that tube up through his neck and all of that. So while Rygel's working up his Technicolor vomit, Scorpius goes over to the captain of the freighter, Jennick. We've seen him before.
Yes. Who plays him?
Oh, I had that information on my handy-dandy little database, but let me look that up, because that's actually worthwhile. This was the first time that Scarran was played by someone other than the other name that's not coming to me.
Right.
And this is Jason Clarke. I don't think you know him from anything else.
Okay. I just had like a moment when he was like talking to Scorpius, that his mouth kind of looked familiar. I mean, there's like it's heavily made up and everything, of course, but it kind of looked like, or maybe he was just trying to do a Wayne Pygram face, which made him...
This is interesting. I get what you mean about the Wayne Pygram face. We've actually seen his straight-up face.
Okay.
Because this actor also portrayed Lechna, who was the lover that Aeryn made up.
Right.
Well, Lechna lied to me.
There is no Lechna.
There is Lechna. Leave her alone!
Give her more.
I've doubled the strength.
No, please!
Again!
While she was being interrogated by Jennick,
Oh,
she was
right, that
like
one. Yeah,
talking
sorry.
about Lechna, and
Sorry,
we saw these...
for a moment I thought you were talking about the guy on the Princess series, but that wasn't a made-up lover. That was just a little bit of recreation.
Yeah, just a little bit on the side.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Okay, I mean, it's convenient. Like, you've already hired this actor. Like, might as well, like,
Give him something extra to do. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so this conversation where Scorpius introduces himself to the Scarran captain.
Now listen carefully. My name is Captain Wentrask.
Like, nothing comes of it.
No.
Really?
He just goes like, oh, I see you are on business. I, too, am on business.
And here are my clearance codes.
Yes.
For some reason. And,
which is weird. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then he laughs it off and goes like, oh, I don't mess with you guys.
Yep.
And I'm just going to be doing my little job.
And Scorpius takes his leave, like, I guess, realizing that he doesn't have any inroads to delay the captain, as he might have hoped.
Yeah, I think he might have been proposing, like, joint delivery or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But none of that.
And instead, we get another scene with Aeryn and John.
And the nurse who's also like, oh, see how easy I can make it for you? Just like, oh.
Must I keep sedating you? Must you keep making things difficult for yourself? There's no point in fighting. You know that.
They're really dialing up the evil on the nurse this time.
In a way, yes.
Right? She's even less sympathetic than she was
she's
in Prayer.
her character is well established, and this is well within the bounds of it, I'd say. Like,
I felt she was a bit more sympathetic in Prayer. like she was a little bit conflicted, or she actually cared about the baby. There's these really weird like direct address shots of John, like as imaginary John is hovering over her, and it's really suspicious.
It's very much like view from Aeryn, view from John. Well, John's shots are always in the face. Aeryn's shots are always either with John or very up close facial shots.
Yeah. And it's time for Rygel's Technicolor vomit.
Yes,
it's amazing.
He times it quite well, actually, because he waits for the nurse to wander past.
Oh, yeah. And the station master.
Yes, who's also a doctor, I guess.
I am Dr. Treso Talnell, Chief Medical Officer.
And everybody is greeted to this, like, you know, I won't call it a water feature, but it's like Wasserspielen.
A water party.
Yeah.
Stand back.
Yeah, he helpfully tells his friends to take a step back. Chiana uncrouches from her chair that, as I guess, like many bisexuals are unable to sit in chairs.
Yes. Bisexual sitting, yes.
Apparently this scene, like, they always redub the dialogue. They always do ADR because Homebush Bay is not very soundproof. Mm-hmm. And this time, like, the audio track was almost impossible to hear over the sound of rubber soles squeaking on the slime on the floor. Squeak, 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 as all the extras were trying to get out of the way.
What's the matter with him?
Maybe it's your lousy food.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Rygel throws up and goes like, oh, yes, well, last time I had this, it was like a little touch of Hynerian skin flu.
Yeah.
Which immediately you see him going like, oh, crud.
Oh.
That's a highly contagious disease.
Oh, don't worry. They said it was dormant.
We're in lockdown until further notice. Anchor all vessels to their docking ports.
Lockdown. Yeah, bud. Yeah. What is the point of a 5-day quarantine if you can mingle with people who have not been through quarantine?
I know, right? It's... Yeah.
What is the point of those 5 days?
Well, it creates exactly this point. It's like...
You maximize your odds of exposure to something else.
Exactly, because we get a discussion between between Yannick and the station captain. So, let's call him whatever.
Treso is the...
Yes. And he goes like, oh, I want to be, like, we want to go. We need to go. And Treso goes like, no, none of that. Because, like, if this is a Hynerian skin flu, then, like, you've been exposed, everybody's exposed. It's extremely virulent, so everybody's already exposed.
Yeah, and we don't want to expose Katrati.
But I have to go, and he goes, he puts his foot down. And he is just completely says, like, no.
Can't keep us here.
I can, and I must. Under the quarantine policy of your hierarchy.
They can't fire me for following procedure.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. And, and Yannick knows that he can't go against that. I mean, he could, but then he'd have hell to pay.
Actually, speaking of procedure, there's a fun little bit at the start where the cutie pie is reporting to Yannick that everything's been locked down, and he sent out a ping to any healers who might have experience with. And Treso goes, well, that's not procedure, but under the circumstances, that was a good
job.
idea.
Yes. Is there anybody in range of that who has experience with this?
Which turns out to be Ranty.
And then at this point, I'm just going like, okay, how do they know to play along with this? Because that's the next comment I've got right now. It's like, how do they communicate back to Dagmar and Renty what the plan was? And it turns out, as it's done in a throwaway remark, as they're doing a walk and talk 1 or 2 scenes later, where they said like,
one of the voices on the medical distress transmission was Sakosa, so we played along.
Smart Luxon.
Brilliantly
kind of brilliant.
Yeah, no,
right?
Absolutely. Also, from a script writing point, very well done. Because, like, normally they'd be like, okay, they didn't know there's a change of plan, that there had to be a...
Yeah. I really, really like this. I understand it gets lost in sort of the tempo because there is so much exposition.
Right. After Cutie Pie gets the good boy from the station commander, then he kind of looks like Sakosa, and you go like, okay, so I know who suggested that. And it's
yes.
And let him take the credit for it. And
so Naranti shows up very competently. I love her confidence in this whole episode. She introduces her Luxon assistant.
Right. Oh, yes. They make great assistants, fantastic bodyguards, and exceptional lovers, I believe the phrase is. That's just he uses. Which earns her a bit of an eyebrow from the commander.
You go, girl.
Who is actually going like, oh, well, the Hynerians, it'll be fine, you know. He's like, his skin isn't schlepping yet, so...
yeah, he should have been symptomatic by now, and he's not, so...
yeah, we're just going to leave him out there. Which, to which Naranti is like, oh, well, we'll see about that. I will examine him. Feeds him a little packet. Asks me, you did have this before, did you?
You're absolutely sure.
Yes. So I was kind of wondering what she was doing to him at this point. Like, I mean, I could imagine that like she was going to do something that like would have been like super dangerous to him if he hadn't actually had it. Like, you know.
Right.
It's like
what would it have done? Would it have like reactivated some other dormant bacterial virus?
Right, something like that. Like, you know, I can give you this, but you can only have this if you've had it. Otherwise, you're screwed.
Yeah, as he said, like I barely survived, and 4 of my wives didn't.
Yes.
So I guess like maybe Hynerian medicine isn't as advanced as Peacekeeper medicine, because like in season 1, Aeryn claimed that disease just doesn't exist to the Peacekeepers.
Right.
So you guys just zip around the galaxy hoping you don't pick up some STD, space-transmitted disease?
No, we're issued a standard number of inoculations, as you call them, against all known destructive bacterial and viral matter.
Do we have any of that on board?
And if some new malicious organism is discovered, our scientists engineer an anti-substrate, a growth blocker, to stop it from affecting our system.
So basically you have no disease.
Basically, yes.
Well, maybe their physiology is better understood. It's, you don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
and I guess as a writer, also you don't want to like paint your way out of a corner.
Exactly. So yes, she gives him something to eat, and yes, that of course makes him go symptomatic.
Yes, because can I just say how much I hated the line that Naranti says that the bacteria that causes the virus is difficult to detect.
Like,
what?
Yeah, no, wait, bacteria and viri, totally different things.
They're completely different branches of, I won't even say life, because that's still debatable about viruses.
Yeah.
Like bacteria are alive, they have organs and everything, but viruses are just like code bombs.
Yep.
For genomes. So yeah. As generous as I usually am, hand waving spacey wacy science, because we don't know what principles they're based on. Like using the words bacterium and virus.
Well, I mean, like if a virus can be spread by a mosquito, then why couldn't a virus be spread by a bacteria? I mean, can a bacteria be infected by the virus?
Oh shit!
I mean.
But then hold on, the word causes.
Fair.
Well, no, hold on. Wait. So maybe there's like a little sort of evil doctor bacterium.
Could a bacterium cause a virus?
That sort of sneaks in. Now I'm imagining like a single-celled bacterium with like an evil moustache and one of those head mirrors that doctors have, and he enters your body. What virus shall I cause today?
have you been watching what's that movie called again? With
Inner Space?
No, it's similar along those lines. It's with Dave Murray and
I'm going to guess that you mean Bill Murray.
Sorry, that's the one. Yes,
and
did I say Dave Murray?
Something Jones.
Yes.
What's it called? This is amazing, isn't it?
Virus Jones, no.
No.
White blood cell Jones. It's something, yes.
Or is it even not Jones?
No, but I know, but the character was called Jones.
How much longer
Indiana
can we
Jones,
go before
no,
this is so uninteresting to listen to?
This is going to get cut.
That we edit? Well, no, now it's funny again.
Something.
In vitro Jones.
No.
Our listeners, I'm so sorry. You're screaming into your headphones. Either the name of the thing that we can't come up with, or
get on with it.
Get on with it. It doesn't matter. And yet, nevertheless, so Bill Murray Jones. Let's see what Google says. Bill Murray Jones, or like I did like Davy Murray.
No.
We've got On the Rocks, which stars Bill Murray and Rashida Jones. Oh God.
So let's start Bill Murray virus.
Animated film virus. And that is
Osmosis Jones.
Oh wow!
Yes.
You even got it yourself.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's like right in the nick of time. It's like
yeah. The listeners at home, like, look at those waveforms. He beat me to it. It's amazing. Wow. That was a wonderfully pointless diversion, which is, I guess, also the sort of theme of today, of this episode. Let me see where we are. So she's actually caused his sickness to return, as we discover shortly thereafter.
She basically reactivates it, and he's like, okay, I'm not going to say it, but Elmer glue-covered Rygel is, well...
With his skin flaking off, and you see him lying there scratching at his neck. Matt McCoy, the one of the other members of Team Rygel, mentioned like that was really hard to do.
Oh, get his hand to move in the right way.
Right, yeah. It was really, really tricky to do. But
I guess the hand isn't like normally meant to touch his own body.
Right, and it's not that dexterous. It can do some grabbing. So this was really tricky to get that to work. They must have been really grateful with the new armature that was introduced in the last season. But it looks fantastic. And now, for sure, everything is under lockdown.
Oh, absolutely, because, yes, now we know he is definitely infected. Naranti tells Rygel what happened. Rygel goes bother Chiana, who is, like, dealing with not-so-pretty boyfriend. He's okay, but he's not cutie pie level.
No, he's the nerd.
The nerd, yeah. I don't know what his role was. It kind of escaped me. Other than he gets chased away by Dargo. Dargo goes like, hey, take a hike, you know? I'm just like... I'm looking for cute girls, and like I was at first, and like
points.
Yeah,
and like for a second you think, okay, you're stepping in on Chiana actually doing something like important, right? This might have been an opportunity for him to go in and try to bully the kid away, and giving Chiana an opportunity to say, hey, no, I was having a conversation with this nerd, and help her get in touch with this nerd, but they actually do kind of both want to have a conversation,
right?
Ain't a body girl. How about I buy you a drink?
They're getting closer again.
Yeah, very. I noticed that, but I've not been noticing that like the last few episodes. Like they've been getting like back into their, old ways, I suppose. Well, maybe. Well, they're not noisily banging on the Lido deck, but
no,
it's they're. They've been getting more familiar, and like they've kind of gotten over the things that were pushing them apart, I suppose.
There's a clear attraction and appreciation still between them that I really do enjoy. He complimented her on that he prefers her elegant grey, like her natural self. And here as well, like even though they're using the pretense of flirting to communicate with one another and deliver that line, like, yeah, we caught Sikozu's message, so we decided to play along. They're also just kind of happy to be close and intimate with one another.
Have a quiet little moment.
How contagious is this disease?
It can infect non-Hynerians, and those it does infect, it kills without warning.
Frell that, I'm going to lock myself in an airlock.
I'm afraid it's far too late for that. Now, this virus is so pervasive that everyone on this station or any vessels docked to it has already been exposed.
There is a little powwow where Naranti goes like, well, I could use some facilities, and Janet goes like, not on my ship. And Scorpius goes like, well, you're welcome to use mine.
Yeah, that was really well done. Like, sort of dodging any suspicion of complicity. Like, I have a facility on my Leviathan. Because that would have been, like, their preference probably would have been to gain access to the freighter.
Well, yes.
And therefore Aeryn.
But he goes like, no, and like he's like showing, well, I have my secret mission, you have your secret mission, but I am confident enough to let her aboard my ship.
There is a bit of that. Yeah, my security is better than yours. And Naranti gets to work, and this is sort of her arc through this episode, which kind of gets buried under rescuing Aeryn and Scorpius. She's dealing with the fact, like, she had to think on her feet.
Yeah.
And the solution to the problem that she saw was releasing a plague.
Yeah.
And now she has to fix it.
Well, there's a hilarious little walk and talk with Shana when this is going on. It's like, so what did you do? Like, I gave him the plague.
And you gave him the symptoms, right?
No, I gave him the actual Hynerian skin flu.
I reawakened it.
And she's shocked, and Naranti goes like, what are you worried about? Like, you're not vulnerable. Like, what about you? No, me neither. And like, what about everybody else? Well...
It sort of reminded me of that scene from The Office where the terrible boss has been informed that there are firings to be done, and like people have heard about it, and he cares more about their perception than about the actual truth. So he just gathers everybody into the room and goes, hey, we shouldn't all have to worry, and points at people like, you're not going to get fired, and you're not going to get fired. You know, and also you're not going to get fired skipping 3 people. Like,
Wow.
very pointedly, yeah. Because, she's incredibly confident and competent, but she's like right on the edge because
Yes, she is definitely operating outside her comfort zone. She's always been like, oh, do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And now, for the first time, she is actually working, striving, and telling people to back the frell off.
Very well said.
Which she normally never does. It's like she's...
Yeah, she's normally sort of floating around, but yeah, she's out of her depth. No one can help her.
Yeah.
Are you tanked? What are you trying to do? What, kill Rygel?
No, he won't die. I can make a cure.
You sure about that?
I'm almost certain.
How long has Rygel got?
Plenty of time if I'm not disturbed.
Because, it's like she's the potion master.
So she's starting with making a cure for Rygel, because he's the one who's most obviously dying immediately.
Everybody else might get infected, but it's like apparently also a thing that like you don't like really notice it until you drop dead.
Yes, that's apparently how it affects
Other
sebaceans.
people. Yeah, not sebaceans specifically, although also...
Scarrans are immune.
Yes, but...
Nabari and...
No, the other ones, like Sekosa species.
No, they're not immune.
No, I know, they're definitely not, because it affects them the same way sebaceans do. So it's like... Suddenly your skin peels off and you keel over dead. Which is roughly how it happens to a nerd boy later.
Yeah. So all sort of quarantine precautions are lifted because we're all exposed anyway.
Yeah, internally, everybody can mingle again because it doesn't matter.
That's not how any of this works! Guys, I know that we have, in our epoch, recent experience with pandemics and what one can do about it. But even then, this was known.
Yeah. More bitching about the from Yannick to the station commander about like being allowed to be released.
There's a lot of that, isn't it?
And he goes like, well, maybe the facilities on Quadrant are better. And he goes like, well, yes, but then you would have also exposed all of them. And like again, he just puts his foot down and says like, no.
Yeah.
My station, my rule. My station, your rules, and I'm going to follow.
We get to see John and the nurse.
Oh,
he
yes.
sort of casually walks past her, and he plays a really weird card. Like he plays just the sleaze bag.
Yes, the horny sebacean undercover secret person.
A secrets guy, yeah.
Secrets guy.
Excuse me while I secrets guy.
Yes, like I need to do a little bit of recreation, and you are the first sebacean I have seen in half a cycle.
So it's a long time without companionship. I don't do aliens.
Well, I don't do peacekeepers, so why waste your time?
And he holds like this vial that he dangles between his teeth like a little tea bag.
It's like he's holding a condom wrapper between his teeth.
That's it, right?
Yes.
And the nurse is not particularly interested because while he says, I don't do aliens, she says, well, I don't do
sebaceans, yes.
So off you trot.
And I was like, oh no, it's like sebaceans are the sluts again. I've got written down for some reason. It's somewhere in this area, but it's why I wrote that down. But
yeah, I mean that is sort of implicit that even though we know it's a ruse on the part of John, this peacekeeper that he's pretending to be is essentially like extorting her for sex.
Yeah,
dangling the prospect of a cure for this disease that only works on sebaceans.
Yes, and it just happens to only be 2 doses. And sebaceans are, as she says, odds of sebation being infected are minimal. And he goes like, yeah, but if it does, you're screwed.
So what do you think? Is she out to save herself or specifically to save Aeryn and the mission?
Aeryn and the mission, I think.
Right.
I mean, herself probably as well. Because she specifically asked about it like, oh, and there's enough for...
Oh, yeah. John does that really well. He says there's 2 doses. Oh, is there any more? He lets her ask the question that reveals that there's another sebacean on board.
Because she takes John back to the ship and like straight into the room where Aeryn is, although she's like not particularly well on display. And John doesn't actually notice her until she starts asking about it. John
he's jumping on the sort of restraint chair, sort of squeaking them. And she goes, no, cure first.
Fun later.
Yeah.
And once he realizes Aeryn is there...
Yeah, he just like straight up punches her out.
The nurse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's what I meant. But yes, just another single punch knockout.
That can't be healthy.
I mean, we know that sebaceans can do the pentac jab, so they're suspicious to it.
Oh, yeah, true.
It's just like pentac jab is just the Vulcan nerve pinch of Farscape, isn't
it? Like John's attempt to rescue Aeryn is kind of thwarted by Aeryn herself, who doesn't participate, and so like he spends enough time trying to convince her to be quiet and come with us.
But she's just like being delirious and like thinking it's another
hallucination,
and it takes long enough for
Aeryn, wake up. Just hold still. Hold still. I need to unbind these. No, it's me. I'm real. Aeryn?
Leave her alone.
The captain, Janek, to come wandering and John to be captured.
Oh, it's actually his charred lieutenant who has an eye patch, which is kind of cool.
He's a charred, so that's what they look like without the dreadlock helmets.
Yeah, we've seen a few of them before. They have very wrinkled foreheads.
Okay, yeah.
A pronounced brow, very pronounced cheekbones. A sort of oily look to their skin.
Yes, and more heat torture from the captain.
Yes, where John admits that he wanted to take the beautiful lady back to his sex hole to do sex with her.
Make babies.
And when Scorpius later asked, like, how did you resist the heat torture? Was it Katoya's training?
Right.
And he says, no.
I just told him the truth, just not the whole truth. Yes, which is the best way to go about in these situations.
And Janek has such confidence in his torture that he just assumes this as truth.
Why was Scorpius so eager to ask John about this?
Yeah.
Because it is not in Scorpius. Scorpius is not the ego-stroking kind who goes like, "Oh, was it the special training that I arranged for you that helped here?" Like he doesn't need to be reassured by that. He doesn't need his ego stroke that he was right in that decision. So
I know
it seems like a weird.
I guess it's like a little callback for the audience. Hey, remember?
Fair.
We know that those were disappointing outfits that they were wearing, but it wasn't a complete waste of an episode, was it? Oh no, turns out, we actually didn't need the heat torture.
Okay, fair enough. That's like I'll accept that as an actual answer and not just your poker face.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Scorpius talks to the captain again and goes like, "Well, what was going on with my man?" And basically tells him like, "Oh well, our things are still aligned. Like, what I have here is the person." Yes.
Yeah.
He basically asserts his secret person status to the captain and goes like, "Well, yeah.
I know that you have Aeryn Sun."
Yes.
And you're delivering her to Akna, hoping that you can get the secrets out of her fetus.
But my man can get you John Crichton. Which was like...
So glad that there isn't like a picture of John Crichton just floating about for anyone to see.
Well, it is in Scarran, in Peacekeeper space.
Exactly.
But not for the Scarrans.
So Noranti has found a cure, which is a carrot cube.
Unfortunately, it won't cure anyone other than a Hynerian.
And that's a problem. I mean, has anyone else contracted the sickness?
No, not as yet.
Well, one step at a time.
Yeah, she has a lot of work still ahead of her. There are a lot of, I'm noticing this now, there are a lot of different scenes in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
For one that is, like, it's very talky, but it's all plot heavy. It's not very feels talky. Mm-hmm. So we can actually sort of...
We're getting there, though.
Yeah. Like, once again, Chiana, who does a lot of hopping up and hopping off furniture.
Well, I mean, she does that very well as a trapezoid.
Discovers that the nerd boy is not doing well.
Hey, you with the big ship. Hey, you okay?
Treso immediately says, "Oh shit, extra lockdown."
Yes.
Double lockdown.
Super lockdown, super secret lockdown.
And everybody walks away except for Chiana. Chiana's the only one who stays and cares for the nerd boy.
Well, he's dead at this point, isn't he? Well,
is he?
No, he will be. He will be very shortly.
But she's caring for him.
Yes. A station commander goes talk to Noranti, who is like frantically going like, "Well, we're working on it."
Yes, but Janek now wants her to work on it on his ship.
Right.
And prioritize them.
Yes, because he wants to make sure that his sebacean is safe. And he doesn't even care about the sebacean, he cares about the sebacean fetus.
Yeah.
And that's like a bit of a weird one because, like, okay, so there's a small chance that she's getting infected.
Yep.
But, you know, we're just going to take a major risk in operation and we're going to, like, implant this sebacean, maybe half-human fetus in the body of a Nebari. And this
is not a big deal.
And this is all something that we can do just, like, without any hormone preparations or anything. And
it'll just be fine.
We'll cut them open at the same time so we can do it faster. And
different body temperatures.
Yeah, nothing on the...
Also that, okay, so we just, apparently they have spacey-wacy science.
But...
We're a bit far from there, though, yet, because we have a heist to plan.
Right. Sikozu has subverted her way into the station systems, thanks to using the codes of Pretty Boy.
Neat little hologram.
Yes.
I love a good hologram.
It's a little bit Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah. I see the sort of glowy coloration.
Yeah. But, plans of the station, like, she knows how to, like, cut the power, which will also cut the power to the... freighter, because that's apparently running on station power while it's docked, which makes sense, you know, like...
Yeah, and the sentinels as well.
Oh, yes.
So while the lights are down, it'll be safe to traverse the station with weapons.
Yes.
And that's what John is waiting for. He's locked and cocked with nowhere to go, just waiting for those lights to go out.
He's willing to throw down. He undertakes a very bold action.
While Jennick orders his eye-patched lieutenant, the Charad, to go and fetch Chiana, because...
Nebari girl.
Hey, Nebari girl.
Can't be infected, immune for... Okay, so I'm thinking, like... Okay, so either Aeryn is infected, and then the fetus is also, or she isn't... And then what's the benefit of doing a risky operation to...
Well, I think the plot is that they want Aeryn to be in peril.
Right, they want to be evil Dr. Mengele...
kind of.
Dr. Yannick experiments thing. Create tension, I suppose.
Exactly.
But from a... like, either she's infected, so you put Aeryn in the strictest quarantine, and either she is infected, at which point the fetus already has it as well... or she isn't, in which case she will not get it because you put her on a very strict quarantine on board your own ship. And like
they don't seem to know about quarantine. Though.
No, they use the word, but like they don't seem to know.
That's not quarantine. That's just sort of like a mandatory 5-day weekend, so you can sort of.
Didn't we recently talk about what quarantine comes from?
What? Not with me.
Oh, okay. So it's like from, I think it's like back in Genova Day, back in Genoa. When ships arrived, they were required to stay at anchor for 40 days in front of the harbor.
40.
Yeah.
Or whatever that's the French word I know for 40, and whatever the Italian word is.
Quarantine. So they was
comes from the word for 40.
Right, yes.
That's amazing.
40 days they were required to remain at anchor to see if everybody in the boat was going to
die. Yeah.
And they would just like, you know, they'd get supplied with food and water, obviously.
Yeah,
but that was just, them's the rules.
Wow, amazing.
So imagine what it would have been called if it had been 30 or 50 days.
Trantine. Or...
Trantantine, yes.
Oh, wait, what is 50 in French again? Quinze. Quinzine.
Yeah.
Quinzine would have been a cool word.
I suppose, yeah.
Quinzine and Trentine are both pretty cool words. Now, it would get more difficult if it was 90 days.
Oh, God,
in which case it would be...
90.
Quatrevinctine. Yeah, Quatrevincdixtine. Yeah, there you go. It's a good thing we're not titling these episodes anymore. Otherwise it'd be, what the fuck is Quatrevincdixtine? Okay.
So, yes, Noranti gets... press ganged into like performing this fetus swap operation along with
Noranti is fighting the good fight. She's trying to anesthetize Aeryn, and they won't let her.
Give it to the. Actually, no, we're completely skipping over the scene where Chiana kicks ass.
Oh my God! Yes, I had it written down as well.
Yeah,
the chariots go off to get her, and she does not go down easy.
She is not having any of you. 3
takes
chariots.
Down 2 of them.
Yeah,
ambushes 2 more.
Fights it off with the commander.
Yeah.
Who finally,
Well, she's not just running away.
No.
She hides in the rafters and takes out 2 more. She's absolutely incredible.
Yes, it's fantastic how she jumps down on him and kicks him out. And she almost, actually wins that from that chariot hit squad.
Yeah.
It's,
Which
absolutely.
is amazing. She, do you think she's been taking lessons with Aeryn and Dargo?
I guess, yeah.
Good for her. She loses the fight eventually.
Yes.
She's unfortunately overpowered and outmatched, but what a fight.
Pilot has to admit that he only detected their presence until it was too late.
Recriminations can wait. We must act. Are you ready?
Who directed this episode?
David Peckinpah.
Okay.
He's done a few before.
Right. Mm.
Yeah, there was that weird tone of sort of apology from David Cameron, because I thought it was a very fine episode.
Oh, yeah.
Moved a lot of pieces on the board.
Yes, very much so.
Ben Browder called it a connective episode because
Yeah.
it moves everyone where they need to be.
So, yes, Aeryn gets clamped down by the swimming pool stairs of restraint.
Oh, wow. And they sort of jab into her
It's
side.
a weird thing. It's, so totally weird. I'm just like, oh, great. It's it's a great area to, stab a woman who's about to have a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really, really, really uncomfortable with the sort of pervasive medical horror.
Right.
Right, women being restrained and medical decisions being made at their expense.
Yes.
Props to Farscape for not shying away from that, but man, it was hard to watch.
No! Stop! This is wrong.
There is a lot of fuffing about while John is getting ready. Scorpius makes a final bid to try and prevent this all from happening, but again is refuted by Janek.
Who's getting a little bit suspicious.
Yeah.
We've seen little moments where he goes, oh, wait, hold on.
And Janek isn't the only one who's getting suspicious, because as Sikozu is trying to manipulate the power grid of the station, her pretty boy is walking in and going oh, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just trying to realign the phase crystals. And yeah, why don't you send your signals and everything and download the files and codes? And yep, he's not buying it anymore.
No, he's actually got a cute little gun
Yes.
pointing at her.
Then will you help me?
Of course not.
While they're in this control room with, I don't know, it looks like a leaded glass sort
Yes,
of
very
decorations on the wall. That's
Very pretty.
really beautiful set design here.
Big consoles with lots of glowy things to push. Meanwhile, John is gearing up in full combat armor.
Waiting for the light to go out.
Yes,
but
which is not happening when it's supposed to be happening. And why is it not happening? And for Frell's sake...
Dargo goes to see what's wrong.
Yep.
We see him on Moya. He takes 2 steps off screen. Then he walks into the command center.
I'm going to lock you up. How wrong was he?
Tongue lashes the
Pretty much.
cutie pie.
Yeah.
And Sikozu.
Yes.
Now, how would you describe what she does here?
It looks like a Scarran heat ray.
Oh, is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
So she holds her hand out.
It kind of looks like she does a Scarran heat ray thing.
Could be anything sort of...
Yeah.
This sort of air warping.
Yeah, it's just it's exactly the same effect that they use.
Melts down. It might be freezing.
No, it's probably just for for budgetary reasons that they use the same effect.
Right.
For,
yeah, because it is much cheaper.
Yeah, they have to use the same special effect that they already have.
And it's not as if Farscape really cares about details like that.
Absolutely. I mean, what are the odds of Sikozu being part Scarran? It's being another half-breed Scarran. What are the odds of that?
No, come on. We already have her really romantically interested in the Scarran half-breed. We can't have her also being a Scarran half-breed. That would make no sense, would it?
No, come on.
Or would it?
Get on with it. No, absolutely not.
Really?
No, who would be interested in that?
Oh, good. I mean, yes.
Yes.
Or do
Let's go out. Fate's black, which is literally what happens.
Showtime.
And John goes off running. And
it's such a cool shot.
And then I started blasting them.
He's like, oh, finally. And off he runs. It's amazing. Yeah.
He gets into the Scarran ship in no time. The freighter is literally blink of an eye. He's across the station. Starts blasting people there.
Because he's the only one with a flashlight.
And a gun.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
In the freighter, it's not a problem. I assume that in the freighter, the chicklids have guns.
So he takes out the chariot. And then he aims his light and his gun at Dr. Treso, who's hovering over Aeryn.
Whom he also shoots.
But not before Treso says, hey...
Stop! I'll kill her! I'll cut her throat.
And then Naranti goes, no, he won't. No, he won't. He knows he has to keep her alive, so you just kill him.
Yeah, bam.
Khalees, you're supposed to be smart. Who do you think I believe?
I like that. Shoot him in the shoulder, though.
Kind of unclear what happened there, but yes.
Well, Naranti says, you should have killed him. And he goes, yeah, my body count's high enough already.
Yes,
and you can see her going, oh, yeah. I feel you.
Bit of a reminder there.
And now they rescue Aeryn properly.
For real, yes. Cart her off, run off into the through the dark, into the station, where the chariot commander is cunningly... Well, he's not really tricked, but he's surrounded as he catches them with his own guns. And apparently the Scarran DRDs are around there as well. Because
yeah, you see them just in the dark.
They're just standing there going like, they're
powered down.
Yeah, they're powered down. So how did John pick that particular spot? Did he is it just like blind luck that they were... Or are they all over the place?
I think they're all over the place. Sort of like DRDs, you kind of don't notice them. They have lots of jobs. Just one of them is execute anyone who doesn't have, a company name tag.
Right, which happens indeed as soon as the lights come on.
Yeah, because John's left his gun behind. He's holding Aeryn in his arms.
Yep. I noticed he didn't bring Winona. He brought some of the other big guns.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think he brought Aeryn's gun. She always liked that big cannon.
Yeah. Yes. It seems plausible.
You work for the Scarran, right?
Yes. Why?
Security is tight for visitors, so you shouldn't be carrying.
Carrying what?
They're free.
Except that Scorpius and Jennick are still involved and trying to talk. And Jennick is now run out of patience with Scorpius.
And Scorpius realizes that the jig is up, and he tries to punch his way free, but as Aeryn has shown, punching your way through a Scarran is not an easy thing to
even
do.
for a Scarran half-breed, it is not. He gets thrown around the room a little bit.
Yeah, Jennick is unimpressed.
Yes. I mean, he gives him some, run for his money, but not enough.
Yeah, and Scorpius knows it.
But Sikozu manages to release all the ships involved. Lola, the module, Moya.
Good job.
Again, here I was sitting hang on, who's piloting these things? What's going on? But no, another throwaway line, this time by Darg was, we'll just pick them up with the docking web.
Yay! Handy that, isn't it? And they also happen to have just a bag of security beacons.
Which they just found lying around command.
Here's a bag of beacons.
Yeah. Are these as I believe John calls them, window stickers?
The window stickers.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take some of these.
What about Scorpius? What about him? Well, he might have been captured. Or killed.
We can only wish. Pilot, starburst as soon as you can.
Oh, we are leaving.
Preparing for starburst.
Why doesn't she ever listen?
And away they fly. And now John and Aeryn are reunited. She's still doubting. He assures her, and the baby, and they...
Yeah.
Is this real?
It's real. You're on Moya. You're safe.
What about the baby?
Baby's fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Sleep.
Stay.
Now we get a really interesting scene between Naranti and Rygel.
Oh, wow, this scene.
Yeah.
You don't look as bad.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. You nearly killed me.
No, I didn't. But I did kill others.
Because Naranti is kind of sitting there picking the scabs of Rygel and helping him get rid of the remnants of the skin flu.
I'm amazed he isn't just eating them.
Oh, good.
That would be a Naranti thing to do.
It totally would have been a Naranti thing, yes.
But she's confiding in him that she's killed people now. Like,
yes.
Through her actions, at least one person
yes.
died.
So, I mean, like, her disregard for other people's bodily autonomy apparently does not extend towards killing them.
Yeah.
That's
oh, wow. Okay, I thought we were finally like on the same page regarding Naranti, but no, you're quite right.
It's just
she doesn't have a great track record, but apparently even she has
apparently,
lines she won't
yes.
cross.
No, absolutely. And Rygel also does a very uncharacteristic Rygel thing.
He counsels her in a way that he's done increasingly.
Oh yeah.
Like she goes,
I mean,
I've
Rygel's really grown in that regard, yes.
And he goes,
welcome to Moya.
But then follows it up with, but I've also, decisions that I've made as Dominar has also led to the untimely demise of people.
And I can't give you forgiveness for anybody else, but I can give you forgiveness for doing
what you did to me, yes.
And holds her hand.
Even though she said she needs to go find forgiveness from the Divine Eternal. Whom I believe she once nominated to become captain of Moya.
Very good. Okay, I'm so proud of you. Okay, I'm just going to give you 100 points for that, just as a treat. Well done. And we see John and Aeryn. He fell asleep while watching her sleep, and she's watching him sleep now. But his peaceful slumber is interrupted by, and I have it written down, you said, the fuck, when the screen turned black and white and scratchy, and there were candles all over Moya, and a great big coffin, and organ music.
And out comes Harvey with like long nails, and it's like this. Okay, I don't know which vampire movie this is a direct
Nosferatu. It's like the first thing that John called Scorpius.
Right.
Nosferatu.
For the 9th time, Nosferatu. I'm not a spy.
And he's standing there, like John's standing there wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And yes.
Surrounded by candles. Originally, this set was decked with 150 candles, but the crew started to asphyxiate.
Oh, okay.
So they opened the doors, blew out 100 of the candles.
And just like, we'll make do with 50.
Safe.
Yeah.
You're not dead.
Of course not. I am dead. I'm dead.
It's not funny.
And yes, like, again, Wayne Pyrogram must have had so much fun filming the scene, because he gets to do the little claw-clicky thing.
I know, with his gnarled claws.
And yes, it's like Harvey's back. Or actually, Harvey was like never gone, apparently.
No.
Scorp just lied. Oh, geez, that never happened before.
So
I guess I was right in the fact that like Harvey isn't gone, but I was wrong in the fact that like Scorpius has him.
Well done. Well done. Because did you catch all the dialogue here? Because it was a little bit hard to hear.
It's not all of it, I guess.
Well, let me walk you through it.
Me, yes.
Because he says that obviously Scorpius didn't take Harvey out, but upgraded him.
Scorpius, he upgraded me to Harvey 2.0.
He is now Harvey 2.0.
Right, that was it, yes.
With several new features. One of them is unquestioning loyalty to Scorpius.
Yes.
And John goes, yeah, that's not a feature.
No,
but it is, because his way is the right way, says Harvey 2.0.
Right. He just needs a little bit re-education again, like the first one got.
Uh-huh. And also, Scorpius can now hear Harvey.
Yes. Presumably. Or he knows what Harvey knows, is I think what he says.
Yes.
Which is not the same. But
okay, well, fine. If there was a line about hearing, then I'll drop it in here.
I've been sharing the contents of your head with him. Memories, thoughts, dreams. Wormhole technology.
Okay.
And if not, then please enjoy this weird tone of voice that I'm using for as long as my sentence runs out. Please interrupt me, Kay.
I like how John is still stuffing Harvey into boxes thing, because he just like he just throws the lid of the coffin down on him again and goes like, before opening it up once more and hearing him out.
Scorpius knows everything I do.
Yep.
Scorpius knows everything you know, John.
What did you say?
I said, Scorpius knows everything you know, John.
What did you say? Scorpius knows everything I do.
Lid goes open again. It's like...
I said, Scorpius knows everything I do. Because apparently Harvey has been feeding him all his thoughts and selected memories and dreams and wormhole knowledge, a little bit of wormhole knowledge.
Oh, yes, apparently all of them are wormhole knowledge, actually. And yes, John wakes from that with a startle as he's still sitting beside Aeryn.
You have to go back for Scorpius. Tell her, John. Tell her.
So, that whole... John's realization that Scorpius had hacked the comms...
Yep. went a little bit deeper than...
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like, that must have been even Harvey telling Scorpius at that moment, oh, he thinks you're on the comms.
Pilot, are we having a problem with the comms?
And that must have motivated Scorpius to go, oh, pilot, is there anything up with the comms?
Yeah.
Just to keep them in the dark.
Just like, yes, wheels within wheels.
And Harvey yells, you have to get Scorpius, you have to get Scorpius, you have to go get him.
Yes, must be freed.
What are you thinking?
Oh, well, they're going to, because like Sikozu's also been on the Team Scorpius.
Mm.
So there seems to be like a very plausible reason why they actually need him, because they don't really.
No. So it would be to keep the wormhole knowledge out of Scarran hands.
Right, because if Scorpius also has this all, then that would go to the Scarrans if they get enough time to interrogate him.
Mm-hmm. They can torture it out of him.
Yeah.
But does he actually have that wormhole knowledge?
Or
because if he did, why was he still on Moya?
Yes, good point. But we are definitely left with a sense of urgency and an implication that next time round they're going to go back for Scorpius.
And a little bit of frustrating uncertainty about like what the situation is.
Or there might be like, next time opening scene there in orbit around the pleasure planet, Scorpius is back on board, and that whole situation got resolved remarkably quick, didn't it?
No, they can only do that when they go to commercials. You can't do that in between. Please don't do that to me, Farscape. Then again, Farscape has done weirder things. Hey.
Yep.
She gives me a Woody.
She gives you the willies.
Oh, willies. Well, definitely willy material is Rygel looking like he went to a particularly kind of activity involving all of the crew, at least all the male parts of the crew.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is... I'm trying to think of anything I can say that sort of affirms that I know what you're talking about without crossing any lines. And nope, you went right up to the edge. So I'll back away from there. Yeah, I thought it looked great.
It looked great, like yes, it's like the connotations that was like definitely wow. Okay, but no, I think
given his Technicolor vomit, he gave as good as he got.
Good point, very good point. Yes, I mean that was also that was like a scene, not quite on the level of the pea soup from. What was that horror movie again?
The Exorcist.
Exorcist, yes.
Yeah.
But definitely impressive.
All of his emesis is green. He pees green as well,
yes.
or at least he does when
it's on fire. Yes. But I think my actually Willie goes to Gen X and his casual control during the whole fetus swap thing. It's like when he goes like completely unnecessary procedure as far as I can determine, but he's just going like, no, I'm just going to like... This is what I think is going to maximize my mission's chances of success, and damned whoever who gets damaged, harmed, or involved with it. Yes.
It's incredibly callous, and I'm very glad that you pointed that out, because like my top candidate for the Willy was of course this horrible violation, and like certainly in a medical context. But since you've said that, now I'm free to choose as my Willy bacteria causes virus.
Yes.
And I now definitely do want an Osmosis Jones spin-off for like an evil bacterial Dr. Mengele who's just sort of cackling with snotty glee as he causes viruses.
Okay, which leaves the Woodies.
Yes.
I thought Pretty Boy was quite an interesting character, and how he and Sikozu interacted.
He was very cute.
I mean,
the other male Kalish are not blessed with like quality hair care products, it seems.
No, fair miss, no.
But he seems to use little product.
I also enjoyed not the hand waving, but the casual insertion of a few little throwaway lines to make otherwise plot holes, to soundly cement what otherwise would have been a plot hole.
Yes, to sort of fill in the like grouting. What do you call that stuff that you put in gaps in walls?
Grouting is what you put between bricks. You know, after you cement the bricks down, then you fill the
That is what I'm talking about.
That is grouting. Yes.
Hey, look at me knowing a home improvement
Very good.
thing.
Yes, but I think my actual Woody will have to go to Rygel at the end in the scene with Noranti, when he just he really steps up to the plate as a crewmate and to help reassure her you're gonna have to come to your own terms, but I at least forgive you for what you did, for what you were trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So
like he's got a few years on her, but they're the oldest members of the crew.
Yes.
And for him to really connect with his fellow crewmates.
But he seems to, Rygel seems to have done a lot of emotionally maturing, or at least maybe he was always like that. He just didn't care about anybody.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's trying to coming to around to these people.
Oh, I'm with you. I really like to see that in Rygel.
Yeah.
My Woody's going to be a little bit wider than yours, but the competence of characters who are often played for comedy.
Yes.
Or, peril, like Chiana, Naranti, and Rygel. They're often played for comedic or dramatic.
Yes. I mean, Chiana's scene against the chariots was fantastic.
Yeah. And Naranti as well, and including her inner turmoil that she gets no help with, her efforts to resist Janet and Treso, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Rygel coming up with this plan. Solo.
Yes, and everybody else going okay, this is a plan now. It's we're committed. It's
our crew at their best.
Yes.
So that brings us to the end of We're So Screwed Part 1. So what a fun title that is, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the story so far.
Farscape. So next week will be another reading of a fanfic, and after that we will deal with episode 420.
Hey!
Hot to Katratzi, We're So Screwed Part 2.
That's the drugs number.
Yes, it is the drugs number, and in which the crew of Moya go into the heart of Scarran space in a dangerous attempt to rescue Scorpius. Oh, well, now we know what's happening. And prevent the Scarrans from unlocking the secrets of wormholes.
I'm all grumpy now. I thought that, we're far enough ahead that I don't need to keep the spoilers from him, but, I kind of wish that it could have been a pleasure planet, and they could have gone skiing. Yes, you'll join us once again in 2 weeks. Oh, hey, I have not thanked Lee Collier enough. Lee of Give Them L, the excellent musician and friend of the show who has contributed our amazing music. We groove to it every episode. We always start this episode, one of the buttons is dedicated to the opening titles. We don't just edit it into the show. We actually listen to it and dance, and that's how we start every episode. Thank you, Lee. You can find her album. She's Give Them L. That's the letter L. And maybe, she shared with us a photo shoot that she did to promote her album.
Oh.
In an outfit that, consciously or unconsciously, was pretty Peacekeeper, like a black leather and red. So maybe she shared that somewhere.
Oh, let's hope so.
That would be fantastic. Also, thank you to our wonderful Patreon supporters and everyone who sent us synopses. Guys, your support over these many seasons has been amazing. And as we careen toward the end of season 4, and we're delighted that you're still with us. If you want to contribute some more, which I think is technically still possible, you can go to sofarscape.com/links. And already a few people have used the synopsis form just to send us a little message. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. And until then, so Farscape, so good.
I'm cocky, you're cocky.
Oh, okay. So and until then, I'm cocky.
I'm Kay.
So Farscape, so good. I was so proud of myself for making it the whole way.
You were. You did very well.
Thank you.